A few years ago, I had a show that I aired on my YouTube channel that I entitled Reprogramming America. And the mission statement of that program was to create a paradigm shift in the mindset of the people, of the masses. And so earlier today, I was at the airport with my parents, and we missed a flight because we were on standby, and one of the flights got canceled, so all the overflow from the canceled flight went to fill the seats for the other remaining flights. But anyway, while I was there, I came upon an article that I read, and in this article, it talked about how men and women who have spent their entire lives working in positions where they are receiving compensation for a product or service that they are providing. And upon retirement, it comes to them as a shock, because it's like having the rug pulled out from under your feet, where you've spent your entire adult life under the auspices of being a producer. And so your identity is conditioned based on the title and the label that is given to you by your employer, or by the people with whom you do your business. So once that time comes when you are no longer providing a product or service in exchange for monetary gain, you don't know who you are anymore. In fact, you never knew who you never knew who you were to begin with, because for as long as you've been alive, you have been told. The first spell was cast when an adult asked the child, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" That is a traumatic question, because then that sets the precedent for a lifetime of indentured servitude, only to be appreciated for performative worth and not for being, just beingness, or being valued and loved for the person, not the person, because person is from the Latin persona, which means mask, but for the individual, for the human being that you are. And so this performative paradigm is the devil's distraction that serves to keep the planet spinning, because so long as human beings are producing, this planet is going to continue to be host to mothers and fathers who continue to populate the planet with offspring. But how can you have any evolution, any growth in this universe when you're constantly doing what you've always done, thereby continuing to get what you've always gotten? So it's inevitable that this planet is not going to live, quote unquote, live forever. Nobody lives forever. So in order for us to ascend, it must be done first in the mind. The mindset must change in order to make room for the heart space to grow. And that's why we are still living in a world that is run by fossil fuels and dollar bills. So, if I am to offer any advice to someone today, and take this as it resonates, that seems to be the buzzword of the new of our current time. Take this as it resonates. When you go into nature, there is no Wi-Fi, but as Ralph Smart from the YouTube channel Infinite Water says, I guarantee a better connection. Now, isn't it sad that as a collective, it seems as though the value of natural gifts, our natural gifts, meaning that which is tangible, that you can touch, feel, hold, taste, smell, is losing value, is somehow losing the interest of the people that are providing these gifts. So long as people are not interested anymore in what is natural, then what is holding us back from embracing our supernatural abilities? Because I, for one, will admit to the truth that in my very bedroom, in this household, there is a wire that I place, my wired headphones, I wrap around my headboard, and they slip off without any force being acted upon it. They fall right off and onto the ground without me enacting any physical force, thereby moving the wire, pushing the wire off of the headboard. Wire. By wire, I mean my headphones, my wired headphones. So I know that supernatural abilities exist. And since they exist, why isn't humanity embracing them instead of continuing to rely upon monetizable assets that are destroying this planet? Anyway, those are my thoughts for today. Thank you.